Welcome back to the Plus Side of Nashville. We've been talking about Hope Force International, a volunteer disaster response team. And joining me now is Chuck Dubby, who's the senior chaplain at Hope Force International, and Susan Batson, who's an HFI reservist. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet people who are doing such great things. And I understand, Susan, you just got back.
I did.
From South Carolina, where they had that awful, awful flood. You spent 8 days there.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you want to be a part of something like this?
Well, first of all, I'm trained to do it because I did the Hope Force Reserve training.
Okay.
And then you're kind of always ready for, not looking for a disaster, but want to be ready and available if one comes along that you are able to go to.
So of all the things you could have volunteered your services for, why did you think you wanted to actually volunteer to help out with an organization that goes out and helps with disasters?
And that's just what turns me on. And,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm serving the Lord by doing this, and it's certainly appreciated, and you're reaching out and making such a difference for people that it's very addictive.
Yeah, I can just imagine. So Chuck is the chaplain for the organization. You get out, not only do you help to counsel the folks, I'm sure, but you get your hands dirty as well. What was your first, do you remember the very first time you responded to a crisis?
You know, one of the very first was in Gustav, and it was a big one that came into, it didn't hit New Orleans, but it ended up going into the other part of the country.
Yeah.
And so I remember going down highway, I think it was Highway 55, and on our side of the freeway there was hardly anyone, and we were in a brigade of maybe 10 vehicles. On the other side was a parking lot.
Cars
Otherwise,
just
people were
stopped.
just ready to get out.
Oh,
And
leaving.
I'm thinking
you're
to
going
myself,
in?
I'm thinking to myself, the longer I go down this road, the harder it is for me to get out, because I've got to turn around if I wanted to go with them. So it was a little bit daunting. And then the first night we all slept inside of a church. There were probably, it was a small church with pews, and we sat in cots, maybe 80 people, not air conditioned, one bathroom. And then we started moving into more of a larger facility, and we were out there feeding maybe 15,000 people a day.
Wow.
So as the chaplain, we kind of work as a team. We're giving out food, we're helping people, but then also we're standing at the side saying, well, how's it going? You know, how's the family doing? Is everybody okay? It's what we call a ministry of presence. It's a way for people to begin to tell their story, and for them that gives them a way to kind of decompress, in a sense.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I was going to ask, because I'm so curious to know, you know, just coming back from seeing so much devastation and people hurting, how do you come home, Susan, and just go back to your normal old routine?
Well, it's something you get used to, I guess, after several visits and different different
crises that you may have been a part of.
Right, right. And you can't save the world, but if you can save one person, you've done your job. So it really, if I take that attitude, I'm okay.
Absolutely. Do you find that you always have to sort of be mentally, emotionally ready to go at a moment's notice?
I think as a staff person, yes. We're kind of in the firehouse, ready for the fire to go. So I do get a little churn in my stomach every time the weather goes bad, because I know there's probably something that we need to respond to.
Yeah. Well, if someone is thinking about becoming a reservist and being a part of Hope Force International, what would you say, Susan? Why should they volunteer for something like that?
I tell them to go for it and get their training and get out there, and it's wonderful people you're working with, it's wonderful people you're working for, you're making a difference in their lives.
Absolutely.
And
Well, thank you.
You're
For
welcome.
what you've done to make a difference in people's lives,
Thank
and
you.
you as well, Chuck.
Thank you.
It's a great organization. It's Hope Force International. I would encourage you, if you're interested in any sort of volunteerism and helping out, this is a great way to do it. You're helping so many people at the same time. We appreciate you being here. When we come back, why there's such a strong fight to end type 1 diabetes and the efforts being made to find a cure. Stay with us.